Aujourd'hui aussi, c'est un autre jour. Jaïla. Le monde part en couille. Non. J'ai du mal à imaginer ça. Regarde ces trucs là. Eh oui. Jésus. God have mercy upon us. Say they wise. Hello everyone, welcome to my podcast, The K-Touch, where we make art and we have conversation. I have before me Derrick. Now, Derrick is a very talented, very professional young man, but I am so curious and so excited to have him on this show because when I knew Derrick, the last time I spoke with Derrick was a microbiologist. But now, Derrick is an entertainer, he's an actor, he's a filmmaker. And I'm here to find out why he has switched and what's going on with him at the moment. Derrick, welcome to the K-Touch.
Thank you, sir.
It is nice to have you here. Honestly, I haven't seen you or had a conversation with you in... I don't know if I will say now. My mind is going close to a decade, more than a decade.
Yeah, I left Uniport 2014.
Oh,
that was when
so it's about 10 or 11 years since I had a conversation. Yeah. Wow, but
how time
flies, but you haven't changed. Look at your face. You're like one of those people. They say that you have good genes. I can't see any change apart from the small behavior you have. I can't see any change in your face. So what's the secret to your face, to your youth?
Well, I don't know. Maybe like you said, the gene, but I don't know the color of the gene, whether it's blue gene or black gene or denim gene.
Okay, I'm so happy to have you here. I can't wait to hear some of the answers. Let me just start with a basic question. Who is Derrick Ugwuegbu? Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
I'm a human being. I am male by gender. And well, I would say Derrick is first of all a human being, right? Derrick is male.
Yeah.
And I'm a person of different sides, which sometimes it takes I get to discover some of my sides as I progress in life.
Yeah.
And I'm a lover of arts. Right? I'm a lover of arts.
That's evident now. It's pretty evident you're a lover of arts.
Lover of arts, entertainment. And I'm also someone who has been aspiring to make impact in the lives of people by way of creating opportunities for others to become who they have always wanted to be, right? Achieve their ultimate dreams and goals, especially in the arts, right? In the performing arts industry. Yeah. So I am someone who I don't only want to just get there, right? Or aspiring to be at that top, but also create a ladder that can help others to climb to the top as well.
Okay. That's interesting because I've been seeing what you've been up to, and I really want to know because, like I said earlier on, the Derrick I know is a microbiologist. So please, can you tell us, Derrick, how you made that transition? When did this whole media thing begin, and why do a BSc in microbiology only to switch to media and entertainment?
Okay, I will actually say that.
I'm curious. I'm very curious.
I would say I actually switched to microbiology.
Oh,
from
so
the
you
arts.
started from the... Oh, please tell me this story. I must hear this.
Okay, the reason why I said that is I was born an artist, right? I was born an entertainer.
Okay.
But I made that switch along the line because somehow I lost touch. I lost touch with my full essence, my real essence of life. And when we are growing up, when we are younger, when we were kids, much younger, there were professions, or there were fields that were termed professional, right? They were seen to be more important in hierarchy than others, right?
Yeah.
For instance, like medicine, law,
Yeah.
Pharmacy, things like that. Okay, so those were the trending professions. And then if you're doing any other thing, you're involved in any other sphere of life that is not among those ones that have been mentioned, that were considered the more prominent than others, it's as if you're just going to school to waste school fees. Okay.
That's true.
So imagine you telling your parents that you want to go and study theater arts. During our time when we went to school, they would think you just want to become useless, or you might not have any chance in life. You might become a liability to them tomorrow. So they feel they want you to be in those industries where there seems to be guaranteed job security, right? Like once you're done with school, you can always have a job. So they weren't thinking about even business creation or setting up your own enterprise, right? So their own ideology was, when you finish school, you have to get a job.
Yeah.
So for you to be able to quickly get a job, if you want to have a guaranteed job, then you have to be in either of those fields.
Yep.
Right. So that was what got into my mind. But before then, I have always been involved in arts, acting, performances, anchoring of events, and the likes. All right. So, but when I had that ideology, right, seep through my mind, I started desiring, and then people around you will tell you, you look quiet. You must be I think you do well as a medical doctor. So you see people already writing your destiny for you.
Yeah.
On your behalf when you didn't ask them. Okay. So that was what happened to me.
Okay.
And then people were kind of telling me I would look, or I would be better as a medical doctor. So I started writing JAM, right? Aspiring to get into school and study medicine.
And they jammed you like it jammed some of us.
When JAM must have jammed you left, right, and center. You would not start looking for something similar, something close.
Yep.
Something close to medicine. Then you can always switch later on. So mine was biochemistry and microbiology.
Okay.
And then when I didn't get medicine, so I had to go for microbiology after writing JAM, I think 4 times or 3 times. Then eventually my Uniport gave me microbiology. So it was more like, okay, this is a starting point. We can always switch to medicine. So that was how this whole thing started. But
that's interesting, because I don't know if you know, but I wrote JAM 3 times. So I think we should all. This is my call out to all Nigerians. Maybe we should form a support group. Those that have written JAM once will form their own support group. Those who have written it twice. In short, audience, please, if you could leave a comment on how many times JAM has jammed you if you are in Nigeria, so that we can form a support group. But if JAM has jammed you more than 10 times, you are not allowed to join any group. You are a liability, to borrow Derrick's one.
You're a stakeholder.
Yes. Okay, now I see how you started this whole thing. But how did you now get back? Okay, let's fast forward to you are done with microbiology. How did you now get back to focusing on you and your gifts and media entertainment?
Wow, it was a whole roller coaster ride. Only few persons actually knew that when I got into Uniport in first year, 100 level, we're still under the euphoria of being undergraduates.
Yeah.
We're still having that mindset of, okay, now you're a university student, so you are feeling on top of the world, feeling fly. Yeah. So we thought we could actually rest for that first year. Then maybe in second year we'll now begin with our education and studies. But when result came out after first year, first semester, oh my goodness,
Wonderful.
it was disaster. My God, that was when I realized, okay, this is a different environment now.
Yeah.
So I have to be serious. All right. So along the line, so when we finished year 1, year 2, by the time I got to year 3, I started realizing that, boy, you're actually in the wrong place at the right time right now. Because I started having issues with studying and connecting with what was going on in class. Microbiology was now becoming so Herculean a task to to undergo. Yeah, management was becoming very difficult. Then I was coming to realize that I started disconnecting from my real self. And you might not know this, but I almost quit microbiology year 3.
I have no idea. This is new information to me.
Exactly. I almost quit the department. I almost quit the studies because then it was as if I was struggling, right? I was struggling to keep up with studies and all that. Coming to class was becoming so difficult for me. But when I spoke with one of it was actually my senior colleague, because I was a part of a theater group then, a drama group. So my assistant director, who also studied, he studied industrial chemistry, and then he told me his own story, how he almost quit industrial chemistry, but his HOD then encouraged him to finish up since he was almost done. So with that, I picked up the courage again and continued. And then when I got to final year, it became worse. I started skipping classes. I started skipping classes because when I remember that I was going to class, I was going to sit before some microorganisms and sit there for hours. Sit there for hours talking about or listening to the names of microorganisms and what they did and what they did not do. I just lost interest. Okay, so I started skipping classes, and sometimes even when I come to class, sometimes I will stand by the window outside the class. And when I feel like I think I've had enough, I will just leave. All right, I'll just leave. And then there was something I was doing. When I will leave microbiology final year class, I will find myself in year 1 class, theater arts department.
No, that's honestly, are you joking? You're pulling my legs.
No, sir. This is reality.
Wow.
This is reality. In fact, there were actually 4 of us, 4 guys, 4 of my classmates. You know all of them, but I wouldn't want to mention.
No names here. No names.
we became 4 of us. So me and 3 other guys in the same class, microbiology, final year. All right. So each time I get into theater arts class, though they were year 1 freshers, but I didn't mind. Now you know how they always too many of them in class.
A lot of them.
Yeah. So I'll just go there and look for a place and sit amongst these freshers. And when I'm listening to the teacher teach, I just feel like there is this peace that takes over me. I just feel like, wow, this is home. I felt this sense of calmness, this sense of peace, and I just easily connected with what was going on. So one of the classes, this man was teaching them Columbo's Erase to Anger. Columbo, one of the theater arts department lecturer, the one that featured.
This is new information, so please feel free.
Thank you. The one that featured in Isakaba, that movie, Isakaba. Yeah. So the what's his name? He was actually a native doctor in that film. He has big eyeballs. Okay. So after the class, I went to meet him. So I told him my ordeal. I said, "Sir, I don't like where I am, but I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. I need help." So he said, "Okay, that I should come over to the crab." So that was how. Yeah. So I was very excited. You can imagine that. I was very excited. So one of the days I went there and I met him, and that was how the 4 of us now. When we got there, we told him this is what we're experiencing. We're all in the same shoes. Okay. So luckily for us, it was a period when they were about to stage the drama they were rehearsing for the World Theatre Day.
Yeah.
Okay, World Theatre Arts Day. So he said that they were going to give certain roles to us, but then we will have to prove that we're able to feature in that film, in that stage play, right? So whoever performs best in that role, the character will be given to that person. So you can imagine us coming from science field, coming to compete with those in theater arts for a role. So because of that, because we are now having it's like they had an edge over us because this is what they have been studying.
Yep.
So whenever we leave the crowd, we will have to go. Sometimes we get to the field, and then we'll start rehearsing the lines. Start mastering the lines of those scripts, those characters, so that we'll perform better than those other guys, right? So it's like now we're up against those who were better than us, so to speak. So we had to put extra effort
into
to be able to secure those roles. And eventually 4 of us got roles, but 2 of us got speaking roles. So the other ones were more like the extras.
Yeah.
Or the play. And on that day, it was a night. So we came and we hosted the drama, the stage play. And so it continued from there. You know, so let me stop here for now.
Wow, that's really interesting. Because no, and I have no issues at all with people. That's one thing on my journey. I've shared with a few people that why I started this podcast in the first place was because, like you, but in my own case, I've realized and accepted it later on in life. Like you, I have other interests as well. And even as a lecturer, back then in Uniport, I used to write books. So I would write books. And that was what started me on the journey. I was writing a book. I never got it published. But then I realized that I could actually write and complete a book. And so I wrote a few fictional books. I've written fiction and I've published that fiction. And it just started me on a journey where I began to realize, self-awareness that I have other interests other than science. And that's how I eventually got into art. It's a long story, but I guess my point here is that, I completely understand with you where you're coming from in terms of having an interest and being driven towards it. And at the end of the day, you have to be true to yourself. So that's a really interesting one. But still to continue with the whole media thing, can you tell us a bit about New Ace Media? Introduce us to this company that you are a CEO of and when you first had the idea of it.
Okay, New Ace Media. You know how it is that when you have an interest, when you have passion for something, and at a point you want to concretize it, you want to make it become more formal, right? You want it to become more structured, all right? So I think that's the best way to build a business or any enterprise, something that you're passionate about. If you can create a business around it, around your gift, your talent, your passion, your skill, so I feel that will make it even more sustainable because you are doing something that you love doing and you're making money from it.
Yep.
Okay, so it will make you linger on even when it seems like the odds.
That's a gem. I like that. I'm going to, with your permission, I'll take this thing you just said, a 1 minute statement you've made that is such a gem. I concur completely. The K Touch, that's a podcast, art podcast. It's so interesting how you can say that you're interested in something, all well and good, but until you stamp your authority on it and commit to it physically and tangibly, it's always going to be like a hobby. So one of the reasons that I even started the K Touch was I said to myself that I must put my seal of commitment on this thing. And that I agree with you with regards to New Ace Media and that. But when did you actually start? When was it launched? When was the first aspect of it? When did it begin?
When it came to life. Okay. Well, it actually started when I was still in Uniport, right? But then the name wasn't New Ace Media then. It used to be Rendezvous Entertainment. Okay. Rendezvous Entertainment. Then after a while, I realized that I had to just expand it because entertainment is one side of my interest, and then media as well is another part. So the two parts, I had to merge them together. And then I started thinking of the name that I'm going to give this baby that has already been born. Okay, so I thought of a couple of names, and one name that came to mind, when I was thinking of something that is premier, that is of a principal status. Okay, then I started scanning through some words, and the first time I came up with the ACE, ACE. Then by the time I googled it, I realized that 1,001 people had such as the name of their brand. So I wanted to look for a way to just make it different, right? And then I started looking for other words to attach it to. Then eventually I settled for New Ace Media.
I like what you said about combining interests, media and entertainment, because I agree with that. I have two interests. I have my interests in fiction, and I also have my interest in art. And for a while, I had run a channel on fiction where I would read books, write books, interview authors. And then I now started running a different YouTube channel where I would make art. But it was just dividing me in different lights and different directions. And so recently, I've decided to combine both, where it will be art, there will be fiction, there will be a bit of all, but just to fuse it into that one channel. It makes my resource management more effective. So I'm not splitting resources across different channels. So I completely agree with you on that one. But it's so interesting how you started, because I've looked at a few videos. You've covered things such as, I think it was elections, and you've interviewed people on the street. That kind of boldness, where did it come from? I ask you because I know I'm a very bold person. I don't even understand where my boldness comes from, but I don't know where it comes from. Literally, I used to be the kind of person you could dare to do something and he would just go and do it, obviously within reason, but I would do it. I'll be the kind of person, I'll meet a girl, back then when I was single, go and chike. No wahala, is it chiking? I'll go and chike. How far? Girl, how you did? What's your name? So those kind of things I used to do. But you, going on the street and having a camera, it's a different level of boldness. So explain to me how you started and were able to translate that into New Age media.
Okay, well, let me start with the girl chicken part. Okay.
Why is that the one you want to start with?
because that's very memorable. Okay, so I remember one incident. One of my class, when I was in Uniport, actually, we're in final year then. So I was working with one of my classmates. You know him, of course, but no name mentioned.
No name mentioned.
So I was working with him one day. Then there was this girl. We're actually we're worshiping in the same church then in Uniport, and she was in pharmacy department. So while I was working with my classmate, a guy, then so the girl was coming in our opposite direction. I stopped her, then my guy excused me, and then I started talking with the girl, so eventually she later told me that she was with someone. Okay. So by the time I came back to my guy after I had dismissed the girl, so he was not wondering, he was asking me, is it that you have these words on the top of your lips like this, that it just come?
You in your mouth now, looking at your mouth, you look like a very smooth talker. Your mouth is smooth. Your mouth is too smooth. You're a chika, natural born chika.
I need to observe my mouth again.
Yeah. My own is a bit crooked. It's chappy. But your own, you are a natural born chika. People, No, but honestly, so how did you get this boldness to now go on the street, have a mic on your hand, and cameras making recordings behind you?
Yes, I've always been in front of people, right? I've always been involved in things that will bring me in public, or that put me in the face of people, right from when I was a kid. So I remember vividly the time when I featured in a drama in school. Then it was a musical drama, so to say. And that was in primary 1. I still remember I played the lead role then. Okay, and my teachers were they were very much impressed with my performance. Okay, so you can remember that, you can imagine that at that age, I was already feeling comfortable. Like I feel excited when I'm going to stand in front of people to talk or to do anything. So I wouldn't really say that maybe it started maybe later on in life, or I can't really trace, okay, this is the reason, right? I've always been a confident person, and everything I have always done has always been either I am anchoring an event as an MC, or like you saw, going to the streets to do vox pop, interview people, or when I'm on TV, reading the news on the radio, anything at all. But it doesn't mean that I don't feel nervous, right? But it just happens for a short period of time, and then once I have gotten into the whole environment, then I just run.
You run.
So
and what has the reception been like? For instance, we'll get to other interests you have, but allow me to still ask this last question on US media. What has been the reception like when you go out and you have these kinds of conversation? Have you had people walk away, or have you had been able to engage people successfully? What do you think?
Of course, there have been people that wouldn't want to give you the audience, right? Maybe they are camera shy, or they are timid, all right? Or some of them might actually be maybe busy, or they are running or something. They need to catch up with something, right? But for the ones that we have been able to convince or persuade to participate, yeah, they do it, wholeheartedly. They do it with their full mind, and we get to have a good conversation. They get to share their experiences, and then they just basically talk and give us that cooperation, So.
All right, now I know I'm asking a lot of questions, Derrick. So just be patient with me.
No, it's fine.
Now, your skits on social media. Please tell us about your inspiration for them. How do you come up with these skits? And how do you get this creative?
I've always loved storytelling.
Yes,
I always like stories. Okay, and in fact, that is even our motto. All right, on New Age Media, storytelling is what we do best. Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever we do at New Age Media, it's all about storytelling. So either it's photography, or script writing, or creating of films, doing of jingles, adverts, and all that. Films, movies. Okay, so everything has to do with stories.
Yeah.
All right. So we first of all think about what is the story behind this thing we're doing. All right. Then for creating of those skits, the ideas come from different angles, right? Either I'm passing on the road, and then my mind is always open, right, to capture things that will be of interest. Okay, so either I pick it on the road, or maybe in a bus, conductor and passenger wahala. It can always freak your mind, and then it becomes an idea. Or maybe you're even watching other people, right? It can trigger something in your mind. You want to create something. It might not even be similar to what the person created, but ideas have a way of triggering what has been lying still in your mind.
Yeah, true.
Right? So by the time you have that reception, then I always have something handy. Either I type it on my phone, or when I'm at home, I have my notepad. I will scribble something down. Then afterwards, I'll start developing it. And
that's
then
interesting. I think. Sorry. Yeah.
See people's ideas, and then try to let them, have inputs. What do you think about this idea? Then they might make their own contributions and all that. Then
it's interesting because from one creative to another, I'm listening to some of the things you are saying, and I can not help but relate. I'm like, okay, this is normal then. Okay, Chuku, this is normal for you, because I will drive. I'll be on the road driving. I'm like, oh, another idea has come. Oh yeah, and then I'll type it on my phone. Then I'll continue driving. And some ideas, they become rubbish. I throw them in the bin. But others, they actually really good that you want to develop on and make come out. And I saw one of your skits. You talk about you mentioned about ideas coming, from human experiences, I guess. And I saw one of your skits, Madame and who is this person now? I can't remember what role you are there. Whether you are a, I don't know. Are you a mechanic? Are you a house help or something? But Madame wants extra favors, and I was
Okay.
looking at that. Okay. This is an interesting one. I hope I can get access to your videos. I'd like to share them as part of our
Okay.
interview, so people can exactly see what I'm seeing. But you mentioned also you talk like someone who's had some formal arts training. And I know you meant
Yeah.
I saw a video with you having some classes at Ebony Life Creative Academy. How can you
Yeah.
tell us about that? How your experience was with that, and what generally that academy is?
Okay. Ebony Life Creative Academy. That was last year.
Hmm.
That was last year. So I wanted to learn more, improve on my craft.
Hmm.
Right. I've always been an actor, and I will always remain an actor.
Hmm.
Okay. Every other thing I do, apart from doing acting and hosting events as an event host, as an MC,
Yeah.
every other thing is secondary to
Hmm.
these two. Okay. So I have the talent for acting, but talent, of course, is not enough,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And you might think you know it all. You might think you're doing it right, but when you come face to face with the real thing, right? The real structure and how it's actually done, when we talk about industry standard and global standard,
Hmm.
then you realize that you just have to do some some separation,
Yeah.
some separation techniques. All right, take
Yeah.
away some things and then add some other things. Okay,
Hmm.
so I applied to the academy because I needed to hone my skills, my brush up my talent, and then I was selected. Then I went in, started. So it was actually for 3 months.
Okay.
It was for 3 months. So there we were taught how to actually act, right? How to actually act when we are looking at the likes of Hollywood,
Hmm.
all right, and the the premium films that we see.
Hmm.
Okay, how it is that is different from what we usually see on our local channels, right?
Yeah.
Or the films that are churned out. You know, some of the film production houses, you can see them. They can do a film. They can do like 5 films in 1 week,
Yeah.
and then they produce all of them. Then by the time you watch them, you realize that they are doing the same thing. So I
Hmm.
wanted to do it differently. All right, the way it will be appreciated by the real film
Yeah.
lovers. Okay, so that was last year,
Wow.
and
And the experience was a useful one, would you say?
yeah, it was. It
Hmm.
was. It was very very rewarding session, right? Because I got to unlearn some things that I had known,
Hmm.
and then added up some other things to it. So we were taught how to analyze scripts,
Hmm.
and then how to get into your character, how to how to even work with other actors, right?
Okay.
And how to own your talent, basically.
Hmm.
So
But
it
it's
was
so
worth it.
interesting. You say about the things you learned. I've learned a few things from you as well. Like I remember a video that you were sharing. I don't know if you still do things like that, but you once shared a video about something simple. Says that when you're running a channel or you're trying to welcome people to a channel, you said something as simple as don't say hello everyone. Say hello, because you are trying to talk to that particular individual. You're
One
trying to
person.
make it personal to that particular individual so that
Yeah,
the audience would feel as though you're talking to them directly and not to a group of people. So you sharing that
yeah,
is quite valuable. So thanks a lot from that. I'm actually trying to
yeah.
infuse that in my podcast, because by default I start with hello everyone. Then I remember, oh no, Derrick said it's not everyone.
Wow.
It's hello. So I just want to, say it's been useful actually watching you on some of those things. But then you also mentioned about
Nice.
learning from people. I have my own
Yeah.
to learn as well. Starting with this podcast, when I was doing the whole
Mm,
Zoom thing, my face used to be
yeah.
very much in the screen like this. But a friend of mine then
Yeah.
said, who is this? A therapist, Ben Ayasudo. Shout out to Ben. He told me one day, he was
Okay.
like, okay, Chiku, you don't want to invade people's space. So give them
Yeah.
some space, sit back,
Space.
relax, and then people will be a bit more accommodating to you based on how you present yourself. So I'm just reflecting on the fact that you said you learned a lot of interesting things. Honestly, I agree 100%. Here's another question for you. Who is Pa Rufus? Because I've seen you have a number of personalities. I think that's the word to describe them that you bring up, and I've seen all of those. I've seen you also introduce us to the herbalist, because I need to know who that is. And I hope, this is me pleading, I hope you can do some improv for us on this channel. I don't know, no pressure. I'm looking forward to some improv, but maybe you tell us about the herbalist. But my interest at the moment is Pa Rufus.
Pa Rufus is my grandfather.
I can tell. The age difference between you both is staggering, but yes.
Wow. Do I even know how that character started? You know how it is when you're tinkering with different things, an idea pops in your mind, you just decided to try it out, and then you realize, okay, this can actually go somewhere, right? Let's do more of it. And then you realize that, okay, we can actually do this thing and take it a step further. All right. So I think the Pa Rufus came when there was this short video I was doing, right? That was sometime last year. So I was doing these short videos, and then I will put it on Instagram, right? Then I started putting it on YouTube as well. Okay, so the character just came out of trying out different things. Okay, so I take out time to rehearse, right? To practice and work on my skill, work on my art. Okay, because I wouldn't want to get stale or get rusty. So I have to always keep myself in motion. So trying out that particular character and then putting it out, then I realized that I can actually, when I started doing more of it, and I liked what I was doing, and then people's feedback also showed that they were enjoying what I was doing. So I continued. Then at a point, I also said, okay, maybe I can also include another character to this, right? So that was when I created the second character. That's the grandson now. The grandson character, Charlie. Charlie is his name. So
he looks like a Charlie, actually. Charlie looks like it.
So I started involving the two characters, playing multiple roles. Okay, so that was how it started. And then with that, a friend of mine who lives in Ghana. So when he saw it, he was very much delighted with it. He liked the idea. In fact, he was even more excited than I was over the creation. So he gave me the idea that I can actually do more of this, on YouTube. So I started with doing prank videos of Pa Rufus, So he gave me some ideas on how to make it better, So I created a YouTube channel, and I had to now, create a separate YouTube channel for that character, Pa Rufus. So on YouTube, the channel name is Pa Rufus. Okay. Then he also encouraged me to create Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok accounts for it. So that was how we started.
Audience, follow Pa Rufus on all his social media. Follow Pa Rufus.
Okay, yeah. So that was how we started, and we're still creating content around the old man, and then bringing other characters into it as well. So
I think I like Pa Rufus. I actually like Pa Rufus. He's of all your characters, he's my favorite one. And I'll show the audience. I've actually taken one of your videos with your permission. I'll show the audience one of Pa Rufus's interactions with Charlie, which I really like. The one that Charlie was talking to him. Charlie was giving him an excuse of why he hadn't bought the things that he sent him to buy. It was just so funny because Pa Rufus just kept quiet, just really tired. Honestly, I like Pa Rufus, and I can't wait to see more things that you do with him. Okay, so this is you and media and entertainment. Let's give that at a pause now. I want to ask about Derrick. Derrick, what do you do when you're not making the world a better place, a more entertaining, a more enlivened, a happier place, what do you do with yourself? How do you spend your time?
Honestly, I don't really do much, right? You know, people think that by the time, what I do is, by the time I'm done entertaining,
Yeah.
right? I just like my safe space, my privacy,
I love
right?
that.
I just like calmness, no noise. Okay, so what I do is, at my leisure, I like to I like to listen to music.
Mm.
I listen to music, or maybe I watch a couple of videos online,
Mm.
or maybe, what else do I do? I read books as well,
Okay.
right? Like, I like to read.
It's really
Yeah,
interesting that you said about your safe space. I very feel I can relate to that because people always think that entertainers will always entertain, irrespective of where you see
yeah,
them. And that's why
yeah.
you run into problems sometimes when you see an actor or a musician on the road just doing his normal thing, doing his shopping, and you're
Mhm.
overcrowding him and overwhelming him. And sometimes they can take it, but other times you see them react, and you think that they are
Yeah,
being um, evil or unaccommodating. But the truth this is their space now, the space where they can reflect
yeah,
and be themselves, and people are invading it. So I can relate to that because I've heard people say that as well. I'm not at the level where people are disturbing me yet, and I hope I never get to that level. But yeah, it's I can relate to that. Um, you said you watch movies, you listen to music, you read books. Can
yeah.
you recommend any of the three? So can you recommend a book to us to read, a song that
Mm.
people should listen to, or a movie that you felt was quite interesting to watch?
Hmm. That's one thing I don't really know how to do, because I watch things randomly. Okay, for music, it might sound weird
Hmm.
to some people, but, well, I am not Gen Z, so I am going to talk about the kind of songs that I listen to.
Yeah.
So I listen to reggae music,
Hmm.
and
Interesting.
I listen to Lucky Dube,
Ooh.
and Lucky Dube is actually my favorite reggae artist.
Hmm.
Then then I also listen to country music. I
Ooh.
listen to Don Williams. I listen to Kenny Rogers.
Ooh. Oh,
Then
wow. Shout out to Kenny Rogers. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, then I listen to other kind of songs, maybe gospel. I also listen to
Yeah.
hip hop as well. Of course, I listen to Afro hip hop, Afro Nigerian songs, and all that. Okay,
Hmm.
so I like this song. This song, this trending song now. This joy is coming, right?
No, I don't know about it, so forgive me. Or
Okay,
like,
okay,
I'm not even sure what I listen to nowadays, but I'll have to listen to Joy is Coming.
yeah. So those are the genre of songs I listen to.
Okay.
Then, yeah, for the song I'll recommend from Lucky Dube,
Hmm.
that would be that would be Romeo and Juliet, right? That's one of my favorite songs that he dropped.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
Then, as for movies,
Yeah.
ah, uh, now,
You know-
one of the best of my, or how is it said again? The Is it all time best series that
Okay.
I've ever watched
Hmm.
is Prison Break. That would be Prison
Ooh.
Break.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love Prison Break.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. Then another series that has also made me have that same feeling or experience is Squid Game.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
Squid Game? Yeah,
That was really
I love
nice. Yeah.
I love those films.
Okay.
Then, if it's for film movie, that's one movie that is not series.
Hmm.
If you know Exam,
No.
there's a film called Exam. That film was acted in one room, but
Ooh.
the whole intrigue and suspense in that film is out of this world.
Was it the one where they gave them a paper or something and they were looking at the.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I know that one. Yeah, 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 yeah. Very intense.
Then finally, for book, what book have actually made impact on my life? That should be Rich Dad Poor Dad. That should be Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah,
Exactly.
I read
Yeah.
that book a long time ago.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that's the book.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for recommending all three. I was actually even just expecting you to recommend one, but you've recommended three things to us. So thank you for that. Um, if you could wear one color for life, what would it be?
Mhm.
If you could wear one color,
For life, that would be black.
I knew it. Boys and black. Which other color will you say now? Will you say orange? It's black now.
Black or white.
Okay. Okay. Please
Mm.
don't do white. So before they, this your character that is always in red, the herbalist. They'll see you one, now see you the other one. Don't confuse people. Um, if you could eat one food for life,
Rice and beans.
ah! Okay, so is it rice and beans mixed or is it rice and beans with stew?
Rice and beans together. Like jollof rice and
Your own, I
beans.
don't know that one. My own is rice and beans with and then fish. That's how it should go. So half half. Okay. Here's another question. Note to your younger self. So if you had something to tell your younger self, what would it be?
Yeah. It will be follow your dreams and keep maintain that path, because if I had continued the path of art and entertainment, I know of a shorty that those period I spent pursuing medicine and science, I would have invested in more in myself, in my craft. Yeah, so that would be it.
That's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I can say as well is you never know until you try. And because you at least went through that process, fine, you could have done a different thing, but now you know it wasn't for you. And that's a good thing. But if you had an opportunity to relive a moment, so go back in time, this was a moment that I really loved, and I'd like to watch it again as though I'm watching it in the cinema. What moment would that be?
What moment will that be? Okay, that would be when I was on radio. When I was on radio, because after my youth service, because I served in Kano, I went back to Owerri, so I got a job as a radio presenter and a newscaster. All right. Then I actually did radio. Yeah. So but when I came down to Lagos, then 2020, I was also on Silverbed. I was on Silverbed. I got trained as a newscaster and a TV presenter as well. So I did a couple of things with them.
Wow.
Right? Even though it was a short period of time. Okay, so that would be those moments where I featured I was on radio talking, because I enjoyed radio so much. I enjoyed radio a whole lot. I enjoyed radio.
Wow. If I had the opportunity to go back in time, I have two. So I have lots, obviously, but in this particular conversation, there are two I would like to revisit. And funny enough, the two of them have to do with my daughter, my first daughter. So the first one is when she first went on her swing. So there's a video of me pushing her down the swing. And Derrick, you'll not believe this girl. She was so excited. She was laughing at the back of with all her mouth, her teeth wide open, bringing attention of people passing by. But I could see how happy she was. So that was a beautiful moment. The other one, however, was I remember when you were talking. I remember the other one where I was trying to first start this whole social media video production thing. And I had one particular video where I went in my backyard to make a video of me reading my book, my first book. I was so proud of myself. Set a camera. When you're first trying, you're testing camera, you do take one, take two. Is this the button to click? Is the volume correct? So I finally got my camera. I said, let me open book. The young lady that I love so much now started calling my name from the background, and I ran. I told her, yeah, come. She came and now stood in front of the camera and said hello to everybody. Spoiled the video for me. But that was when I was starting this whole media thing. So I remember those two ones. But back to you. What does the future hold for Derrick? What does
the future is bright?
Yes,
the future is bright. The future is bright. So we'll keep creating content, keep entertaining. That is the essence of my living, right? Because I feel that someone will tell me, guy, they change. Once one would, can't you be serious? I say, If I stop doing this thing, that means I'm malfunctioning now.
Yeah.
If I stop doing what I'm doing now, it means that I'm just getting ready to start dying. That's when I'll start dying. You know. So my life will always be to create words, to create content, right? Either we are doing films or skits or TV shows,
Yeah.
or whatever it is at all, right? But I am going to be establishing in other areas, in other industries. Like I have I have a concrete intention and plan of getting into real estate, getting into the hospitality industry,
Yeah.
and of course, very, very, very importantly, is the agri sector. I'm going to have a very large farm, right? I'm going to have a very large farm producing food, crop farm and animal farm as well. So the future is really, really bright.
That's interesting.
And
Because you said, I remember one of your skits as well with Pa Rufus, where Pa Rufus touches corn. And he said, this is a farm. Corn farm.
Farm. Indeed, sir, you wanted to make your research, man.
No. I was very excited when I saw that you were getting into media, and I can't help but really, I'm rooting for you. I can't wait to really start seeing you on not just your personal skits, but I can't wait to start seeing you having comedy shows and selling tickets, outselling tickets. I can't wait to start seeing you in film, actual proper film, where I know because you've got some massive talent there. Now, Derrick, before you give your final word and before I show you the art that I've made, I would like some improv acting. Would you be able to give us some improv acting from one of your characters? I just want something. Is it possible? Sorry to put you on the spot there, but that's what the K-Touch is about.
Okay. Now this character, he hasn't come to light yet. He's a character that I'm going to birth very soon, right? So, but you'll be the first to see it, and it's coming first, right, on the K-Touch show.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yes, madam, they asked of me before. In fact, I don't tell madam, say, oh, can you go like this kind of way they do? Every time madam they come and say, come to my room. I don't understand what madam wants me to do. Madam, you have a cat. Madam, you're a married woman. In fact, you even have two children inside your house. In fact, at every time you'll be calling me on the phone to come, madam, to come and rub cream on your back. Madam, I'm not a cream rubber now. Madam, if you want to rub cream, find somebody that will rub cream for you. In fact, I am begging you honestly. Before you will send me and go back to Canada, I don't even have anything I'm going to be doing. Madam, I beg, leave my life alone. I beg you. I don't want to lose my job. Thank you very much, madam.
Oh, Derrick, fantastic. Derrick, my goodness, I thought about asking you to do improv. Wow. Okay, guys, you saw it here first. Please, a round of applause for Derrick. I am amazed. You are truly gifted, sir. You are. That is wow. Because you're not even wow. Okay, let's leave that. That's for another conversation. Everyone, please follow Pa Rufus. Follow Derrick on social media. Incredibly gifted actor and media personality.
Yeah. So let me show you my art as well, sir.
Oh wow! I can't wait to see it.
I was supposed to make art, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to make art. Only if you wanted to, but I can't wait to see it.
And you said you want to sell it, Abby? So who will buy this one now? Who will buy it?
Derrick, that is amazing. What did you draw? And please don't say it's me because that's not how I look. Who did you? Who is that?
Okay, so his name is Akpan. His name is Akpan. He's from Okenafong in Akwa Ibom State.
Derrick, can you, before you give a final word, I want to show you what art that I have made. So please forgive me. Normally, I just do this randomly, and the idea for me is just to reflect on the people who've come on my show, and you've come here, and I am just so glad to have you here. So what I ended up doing, as marking that, I made you some art. I hope you can see it. So I
Whoa.
made you a camera,
Whoa.
and I'm sorry I didn't get your logo very well, but that's New Ace Media there. Just to recognize
Wow.
to recognize
Wow.
the contribution that you are making in media and
So
entertainment.
you are incredible. Let me put it that way. My goodness. Whoa. But you made this while we were talking.
Yes, yes. So I made this while we were talking. I was thinking of what to draw, and I said, no, Derrick is into art.
Oh my goodness.
He
So the
needs
art
something.
has to resonate with your guest.
Yes, yes. And that was
My
what
goodness.
resonated with me while I was talking with you. A camera. It was either that or a microphone, but I didn't have enough time to do that. So I said, no, I will do something for that.
You are talented, sir. You are good for that. I don't know. Anyway, I wouldn't know what I don't know what your motivation to go into microbiology was,
Yeah.
but
Just like you, Derrick, I think every single one of us,
this
we
is
started with the whole
really
parents thing. Yeah. We started with the whole parent thing, and I know our parents
wow.
meant well. They meant well, and I
Yeah,
my parents.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, they say that you must now learn for yourself. They can only push us so far. We have to
yeah,
now take it further.
yeah.
I just
Further,
want to experience my gifts. So just like you, I've seen some of your
yeah.
acting. I'm going to be showing everything on social media, and I'm just impressed by it. I am. So Derrick,
Thank you so
please
much, sir.
give us a final word before I release you. What do you have as a final
Okay.
word for us, please?
All right. Final word. Hmm. What can I say? So my word is to the viewers, and that is this word. I always say it almost every time is if you don't build it, you don't own it. If whatever it is you're doing and you can be fired tomorrow, you can be laid off tomorrow, then it's not yours, right? So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't maybe get into paid employment or whatever, but while you're at it, make sure that you have something that you can confidently say, okay, this is what I built for myself, right? I own this. Nobody can fire me from this, right? So that's the first one. Then the second one is no matter what you do in life, no matter whatever it is you're doing, make sure you keep learning, right? Make sure you stay you're always anxious. You're always okay, not anxious. You're always looking for new ways to improve yourself because the truth is that whatever you think you know today, in the next minute, something has been updated on it, right? There's something has been added to it. So you also need to keep updating yourself. Whatever it is you're doing, there are a million others who are doing the same thing, even maybe at the same time. So don't think that you have arrived and then you can always just relax and coast along. So that will be keep learning and just stay active.
Wow.
And drink water. I was actually very much intrigued. The first time I saw your video, I think that was the Christmas video you did.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, the Christmas you wore. I think you wore a Santa cap, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it because the last time I knew you,
yes,
you were my microbiology lecturer. You're a microbiology lecturer and the very hot brain lecturer that doesn't come to class with a book, but everything is in his head. He will just come and teach all the way, and then
we'll continue.
with one of with one of his hands in his pocket, he's teaching, and everything is in his head. And now seeing you in that light, I said, okay, okay, now this is actually very good. Okay, let's see what goes on from here. And then I saw another one, and I said, no, now I think this is we have actually found what we're looking for now. This is the real destination, or this is the real path now. So I was very, very happy, right? I was very excited seeing that. And the fact that you didn't say to yourself, okay, I've actually come a long way. Maybe I should just continue on the path of science. I think, switching right now at this point is already late. I mean, for you to have still taken up that passion at this stage of life, some people would have given up. Some people would have just continued maybe with their jobs or with whatever it is that is giving them money, and feel like there is no need again stressing over such passions. But you have to do this. It's enough inspiration for anyone who feels that they're already late or behind schedule in pursuing their dream. So when you said you wanted to have me on the show, I said, for waiting, why not? Why not if not? So yeah, I'm glad to be here, sir. I'm glad, and I'm happy for you too.
Oh, thank
And
you
that's why
very
I
much,
made
Derrick.
this for you.
Thank you very much. Please scan
Please
that.
make sure you sell it.
Yes, please. No. I'm putting it on my website. I'll send you a link to my website. I'm selling art. There's a link to my website, thektouch.com. You see what I'm doing with art. So please do me a favor. You can hold the original, but scan a copy,
Wow.
send to me, and I'll upload it on my website. Thank you very much. So that when you start making millions, because for all I know now, you're going to be governor one day. They will say, okay, but when he drew this thing, it is on this site. Hey, let's go and get it from there. So,
Right.
okay, guess you can see the amazing, the talented Derrick. Please watch his space, follow him on social media. Honestly, if you've got things you want to learn about media and acting, and you want to be part of his movement, please just contact him on Facebook and just be in touch with what Derrick is up to.